Okay, so let's do this example where we find f prime of a specific point, and we're going to use it in the way that it's intended to be used. So what we know is that from the definition of the derivative, f prime of 1 is equal to the limit as h approaches 0 of f of 1 plus h minus f of 1 over h. So that's going to equal the limit as h approaches 0 of we want to actually substitute in 1 plus h wherever we see it in the function. So this is going to be 1 over 1 plus h plus 7 minus 1 over 1 plus 7 over h. So we're going to simplify that a bit. This is going to be the limit as h approaches 0 of, let's see, this is going to come out to 1 over 8 plus h minus 1 over 8 over h. So do some more simplification. We're going to get 8 over, I'm going to combine the denominators. I'm going to multiply them to get a common denominator. So that's going to be 8 plus h, and then minus 8 plus h over 8 plus h. And all of that still just goes over h. So now that comes out to the limit as h approaches 0 of, this is going to be 8 minus 8 plus h over 8 plus h all over another h. So I've got really this fraction over it's part of a compound fraction. Now I just want to go through this step because I know a lot of people miss it. That's why I'm going through this without just zipping through the algebra here. If I take a divided by b and then divide them all by c, in other words, if I take a over b over c, that just gives me a over bc. So in other words, I can take this denominator and just bring it down there. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go, let's first of all simplify the 8 minus 8 plus h. So that's 8 minus 8 minus h gives us negative h over, and now I'm just going to take this denominator and bring it down to the lower denominator. So that's going to be h times 8 plus h. And that gives us the limit as h approaches 0 of, these cancel, giving me negative 1 over 8 times 8 plus h. This is nice because now I no longer have any sort of 0 over 0 problem. It means up to here it would have been impossible to replace h with 0 because I would just get 0 over 0. Now I'm ready to substitute. So this is going to be, I don't need the brackets anymore, that's just going to be negative 1 over 8 times 8 plus 0. Notice, by the way, I don't have the limit sign there anymore. That is correct. Because up to this point here, I was taking the limit. Now I'm no longer taking the limit. I'm evaluating the limit by substitution. I've gotten to a point where substitution is appropriate, so I'm using it. So this now becomes 1 over 8 times 8 is 64, and that's the answer. So f prime of 1 is equal to negative 1 over 64. All right, so the original question was, in addition to finding that value, let's use it to write an equation for the tangent line. Well, we already know what the slope is. We know that the slope of that tangent is going to be negative 1 over 64. We need the point. Well, we see that the x value is 1. So I have 1, and then I'm going to plug in the 1 into the original function. This is a mistake a lot of people make. They think, oh, I found the derivative. Now I'm just always supposed to use the derivative. No. If you want the point, you have to use the original function. It's only the slope that the derivative gives you. So I'm plugging in 1 over, that's going to be 1 plus 7. So that's going to be 1 comma 1/8. So there's a point. So here we have a point, and we have a slope, and we can write the equation of the line. That's going to be y minus 1/8 equals negative 1 over 64 x minus 1. And there's the answers to f prime of 1 equals negative 1 over 64, and here's the equation of the tangent line.